That's why we live here.
Banana dough.
Put your phones.
It's on silent.
Huh?
It's on silent. I'm way yours.
Huh?
I'm way yours. And the clock in front of us on the TV. You're late, buddy.
Oh, really? Yeah, like call to order Ports and Harbor Advisory Board, January 13th, City Council Chambers, our regular meeting. Roll call, please, May.
Capra,
Here.
Mr. Vilsi,
Here.
Bethel,
Here.
Mr. Lempe,
Here.
Mr. Rhodes,
Here.
Mr. Youngblood, Ms. Faber, Mr. Carew,
Here.
Mr. McCanney.
Here.
Linda texts she'll be running a little late. You got that? Okay. Please rise for pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need to get a motion to approve the minutes from October 14th.
Move to approve. Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposition? Minutes are hereby approved. We have any communications from staff or anything? Persons to be heard. Anybody want to be heard? Craig,
I have
you could, yes or
a
no?
question if it's time.
Pardon?
Is it time?
It's time. It's, well, that's on my agenda, persons to be heard.
One question I had was on the, parking around the office and there's like maybe one or two parking spots and everything's reserved for employee parking all the way around the building of the office. Just kind of seems backwards to reserve all your front parking of a business for employees. I've never seen that before. I've heard a lot of people complaining about it, so I thought I would pass it on to the powers that be.
I've noticed the same. And I've done my silent video.
Yeah,
But-
it's frustrating because there's no parking there already. Everyone's already fighting for parking and having to park halfway across the.
Yeah, we've dealt with this issue for a while because we don't own the parking lots, but I guess we do have control of our personal.
Yeah, the parking lot's actually owned by Public Works. We did ask for some parking around the building because, you know, it's the same thing. We've got employees that, you know, didn't have a place to park. We don't even have enough parking with what we have reserved for our personnel. I end up doing the same thing, circling the lot, finding a place to park as well.
But should employees park away from the building so that people that are coming to use the facility have an opportunity to get to the building?
The only spots that are taken up are over by the maintenance warehouse. Right up front, we've left those open for 2-hour parking for people to come in. What we were doing in the past is I think it was 24-hour parking. People would park there, and if somebody wanted to come use the showers, wanted to do that, there was nowhere to do that. So that's kind of why we did that. There's also the other parking as well. So that was the mindset behind that. So we actually have some employee parking as well. You know, but we don't even have enough for ours, you know, everybody there as well. Not everybody parks there. We've got some open in the morning, so when we got folks that are coming in, we can still get in there, so.
Do you know, I guess the fact that you're reserving parking for employees when it's a public building that people need to come in and out of and pay bills and do stuff, and you have one or two spots for the public and like the whole maintenance building in front of the door and all the way around the side of the building on this side. I mean, it looks to me like there's about 8 or 10 employee only signs up at least.
Well,
That
there's
just seems
also,
totally backwards to me. I've never heard of a business putting employee parking in the front door.
there's also, the city rigs that we have to park as well. So that's, a lot of that is for the city rigs as well. So that's what you're seeing, not just employee parking. There's city rigs that we have to park and use every day. So that's why they're there.
Quality. Yeah. Put on my desk.
Break a chair already?
Yeah, it just fell back when I was laughing.
Okay. Wait, what? Mike? Yeah, it's you, Mr. Holman.
Good evening, gentlemen. Mike Holman, Panic Island Port user. I'd like to get away with not saying anything. 'Cause the more I say, the more likely I'm gonna lose somebody here, somebody there, and maybe everybody the longer it will on, but. And I really mean that. I mean, unless I have reason to expect somebody to speak in favor of this birth-free lease.
Well, we,
What need is there for me to speak against it? Other than just to hear myself talk and.
right, right. Well, when we bring this up, you're more than welcome to put your 2 cents in, since I'm the chair at the moment.
That's what I'd rather do because honestly, I could go on and on and on,
I
but
understand.
I don't wanna do that to you.
Right, we know where you stand.
You do.
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And if you have any questions during your discussion, I'd be happy to.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay. There's no one else to be heard. We have an unfinished business utilization of Bar Harbor launch ramp. That was something I put on there because I was questioning what is a acceptable wear and tear on an item. And so the Bar Harbor launch ramp, this goes around to where it was deemed that we can no longer launch same boat power skiffs the way we've done for 30 years. It's definitely old school loggers type, but that's what we kind of are. We use what we have at a price point that we can afford. And there's 2 boom trucks in town that I know of. Well, maybe KPU has one. They could actually put one of our power skiffs, launch it off of a boom truck. Both those guys that own those, we use them. Come on in, Linda. You're here. Thank you. Both those guys that own them are commercial fishermen, so they're out of the window. We can't do that. But anyway, there is some wear and tear that we produced, and we did a forensic check of what we're talking about in numbers. So this new launch ramps were put in 2012. So that's 13 years ago. We did with the provider that does it for us. I'm talking as a commercial fisherman saying 432 was the number we came up with in 13 years of skiffs we've hauled and launched. And it was brought to our attention that we're scarring the ramps. Well, we have left more, but it wasn't we didn't get any input on how it was built. Before, it was a slab like this with relief zones. When they put the new one in, they're all ridges, and we've knocked tops off of some of the ridges. So I don't know if anybody at this table has went down and looked at what the damage we've done. But we've looked at it and we can't come up with any other alternative that we can afford. So, I mean, if the harbor wants to alienate the commercial fishing fleet, there's one thing about it, when you go after one gear group, you're going after everybody, because we're kind of a tight-knit gang that we look out for each other. So this is probably, I'm sure, something that has to go to the city council, and they are going to have to weigh in on it. And if they wanna alienate the commercial fishermen, we'll put it on them. But that's where we stand on the issue, and anybody has any comment, I don't care if it gets voted on here. Yes, sir.
I've looked at the ramp and I don't see much damage at all whatsoever for the amount of times you guys have used it. I think it's negligible based on the amount of times you've used it. I mean, I don't have an issue. I don't see where you're doing some horrendous damage and shortening the life of the boat ramp. That's my opinion.
And basically, I went down today and looked, and I definitely see the marks you left, but it's nothing that to get excited about it. I can see. You know, over 400 launches in
13 years.
13 years. I don't see that it's caused that kind of damage to not do it anymore.
Yes, sir.
I looked at the ramps. There are certainly drag marks that skiffs have done over, you said so many number of years. Instead of fighting about it, instead of arguing about it, hopefully between the ports and harbors and the fishermen, commercial fishermen, we can come up with a solution. We need to damage is not bad, but there are certainly scarring and certainly marks. My concern is going forward, hopefully those don't become big cracks. So we need to, between the commercial fishermen and between ports and harbors, work something out. You cannot deprive the fishermen of their livelihoods. At the same time, we need to limit the wear and tear.
What about all the other users, or like duck boats and people that are dragging logs up to cut them up, and people that are dragging derelict boats and docks and different things up and down? I guess, is it 100% the seiners that are doing this, or is it someone just assumed that, or
I'm pretty sure it is.
it is?
I'm not gonna deny it, yeah.
Well, cause I mean, there's,
But it's not gonna create a crack, as Jay's saying, because it already has seams for release seams. Those scratches will not create a crack.
oh, I see.
There's absolutely no way in hell it will. But if you're okay with the scabs that we left there, go look at it. 400 plus up and downs, 13 years, and that's all we can come up with. Anyway.
Yeah,
that's
I
my-
went and took a look at it and it wasn't as bad. And it was starting to get dark too, but I was looking to see if it would start breaking more. But I feel like the way it's designed, it might just do that and that's it. And then maybe next time we redo it, maybe a different way.
Well, we're not above and beyond of being limited to one side,
Yeah.
but then you're putting, the way it's done now, we usually go to the north side
Mhm.
because the duck boat has to go to the south side. And most of these are after hours or late in the day past the duck boat. And when you launch and haul, and we really watch the timing of it all. Usually on incoming tide, in case there's some fiasco. And you wanna do it on low water where the tide's gonna come in and float the thing eventually if something happens. It's never happened, but you never know. Yes, sir.
Just a question for the Ports and Harbors Director. The duck boats going up and down that ramp, what kind of damage are they contributing to?
They're using it quite a bit, but they're a wheeled vehicle, so they're not skidding up and down, and that's the difference, we just noticed they had the big tender skiffs. They're big, they're heavy, thousands of pounds, and they're getting drug up and down and making those marks. Certainly something we can take to council and say, hey, what do you guys think? I have no problem doing that. Be
And
glad to do it.
413, the
30.
430, those marks are not that bad. as I said, my concern was eventually, hopefully, they don't create cracks, but for 430, those marks are not that bad.
And you'll notice the marks are no longer, and each one's this long. Because of the geometric design of where you pull the thing up, it drags right at the very end. And so as soon as it goes about that far, it's on the trailer. So if you look at all those marks, you go, well, why are they only that long? Because that's just the design of the way it turned out. But all the big heavy skiffs, we launch them with a set of wheels. So all those marks are coming
Coming
up.
back up, yeah.
We've built the set of wheels that you can put them on the back of the skigs. So like my skiff weighs 12,000 pounds or so. But those go on with a set of wheels. So they don't create them on the way out. They might have a little center line until it gets floating, which is no more than this long. So anyway, we went through 3 harbor masters and it's never been an issue, and now it is. So I see this going to the city council and I'd be happy to take it. But if you guys want to weigh in, they seem to, they want to weigh in.
I launch and recover at least once, maybe twice a month, and I gotta be honest, I completely forgot that those marks were even there till this came up again.
I mean, it seems like if it puts some wear and tear and it lessens the life of the ramp, then maybe, you know, it's an asset that's important to an important part of our economy, that maybe the solution is when it's time to replace it, then you can look at fish tax money, or next time there's like Humpy disaster money or something like that. Just remember that that's also a commercial fishing asset, you know, to help, you know, next time it's time for that ramp to replace, you know.
Well, I
But I
truly
think-
believe that this operation is not gonna cost the ramp.
Yeah.
That would be pretty ludicrous. You're talking about the cement blocks are probably about that deep. And you're scratching your tires.
I guess what I'm saying is that, you know, my opinion is should be able to keep on using the ramp, but 20 years from now, when the ramp's replaced, we
There
just
probably will be
remember,
no
like,
commercial fishermen. Pretty much. After 45 years. Just guessing. Any other comments? Anybody have anything they
you
want to do?
from us, or
Somebody needs to bring this up to the city council.
If you'd like, I can write a memo. I'll send it to council and take it in front of them, in the next meeting, if you'd like.
I'll be there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so. And you can explain we're not voting on this?
No.
Okay. But you get the gist of the room? Thank you. Okay, moving along, we have a new business item. It's called the election of a Ports and Harbor Chairman and Vice Chair and Secretary. Anybody volunteer? Okay, I need a motion.
I would like to nominate Eric Lundy as chairman
Okay,
Second.
and Russell Cochran as vice chair. And
Second.
is mayor secretary?
no, we need a secretary.
I think you would make a good chair.
Thanks.
Who's the secretary currently? Who was?
I don't know that we've ever had one.
Do we have a secretary?
Vice Chair is.
Vice chair is the
Oh,
secretary. Okay,
slash
that's the
secretary.
slash. Vice chair, secretary. Okay, you have a motion? Go ahead.
I nominate Lee as chair.
You nominate Lee as chair. Just because you were nominated, you get to nominate him?
Well, I've done it before.
You've done it
I
before.
did 2 terms of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if he doesn't want to.
Okay, what is the term, and how does everybody stand on that?
1 year. For the chairman?
Yes,
1 year. Every November we have to.
so it's a 2-year term?
It's a one year term and,
1 year.
you can serve two terms and then you can't
That's what
serve for 2 years.
For
after-
2 years. So you
after
can,
you
you
so
get two 2-year terms.
Yeah, so you can do 2 years in a row and then you have to take a 2-year break.
And you've done it for 2 years.
It's a
before.
1 year.
I've done
term.
it for 2 years. It's probably been 2 years since I've done it.
Yeah. And I've probably done it for 2 years.
For vice chair.
Oh, I'm the vice chair. Okay.
Yeah.
Acting as the chair.
Acting as chair.
Okay. So I'm confused at what the motion is here.
Nominated him.
He nominated him and then he passed. I understand. I don't care. Lee, what do you have, your thoughts? Are you,
Either way,
pardon?
either way.
Either way.
Well, does that mean that you're prohibited from being vice chair for 2 years?
No, I don't think so.
Just the chair
May's shaking her head.
He already served 2 years
as vice chair.
as vice.
As vice.
So he
But I
can't-
haven't been a chair. Okay, well. Got too many rules here.
Does that mean you're barred from being vice chair again?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So could
You can,
we
you-
nominate Lee for chair and Eric for vice chair?
I'll second that.
we could, because you've already spent 2 years not as
Yeah.
an officer, right?
Yes.
Okay, does that work?
Sure.
Okay, so make this clear. You are nominating Lee for chair,
Mhm.
Eric for vice chair,
Vice chair / secretary.
secretary. Okay. We got a second.
Second.
Linda second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Hearing none. You get to come over to this chair.
Right this minute.
I think so. Isn't that the way it works? Eh? Right now, right? Yeah. I'm done. Give me a copy. I still sign this, right? Thank you.
Take it back next meeting.
We'll be your co-chair now.
Oh, you'd be just great. Don't forget our hats.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to sit here, Russ, and I'll move down to the end?
What?
You want to sit here and I'll move down to the end?
What is that? You've been here longer than me. Huh? Oh, okay, thank you.
Keeps people.
Well, good. I think it's good like that.
Not vice.
There you go.
All right, so
Oh.
I guess we're on to funding for essential safety improvements at the harbors.
So I can speak to that real quick, and if James wants to, he can do it as well, but, you guys should have a memo in front of you here. That's going, we'd like to give to the Ketchikan County Gateway Borough to use their raw fish tax funds to finance this project. Include 75 new life rings with, ring boxes with life rings, 75 new extinguisher cabinets with new 10-pound extinguishers, and 50 safety ladders to replace or repair the damaged units. Total estimated cost for this upgrade is $60,000. It's well below the annual revenue received from the raw fish tax. And if you look in here, you can see the letter that I believe that's going to go to the borough. We would just like concurrence from the FAB, seeing how this might be a very good use of that fish tax, safety in the harbors, and goes right in line with use for the fish tax. Mr. Wilson, did you have anything to add on top of that?
You're asking the mayor to bring it up to the city council as approach the borough to get the borough's raw fish tax, some of the borough's raw fish tax money. And this is a small ask this year. I'm hoping it opens the door for dialogue every year and bigger asks to, get some of that raw fish tax money that the borough gets, but they have no harbors or anything to do with the commercial fishing fleet that pay that raw fish tax.
Do we have any idea what it's used for now and what the number is?
I believe it says right in there, I have a sheet, I highlighted it.
Oh.
And,
Okay.
I believe it just goes through their general fund. I think it was like 8.
Yeah.
432.
Are they using that for the general fund or are they using it for specific purposes?
I believe it just goes to the general fund is what I was thinking.
That's for it, we'll find out.
So you're talking 400 some thousand bucks?
432,000.
24.
Last year was 560.
Yeah.
In the past, they have said they are willing to help with things, but they don't. They said they want to give the money to specific projects. They don't want us to go, just give us money that we can spend on things. They've said in the past, if we come to them with specific projects, that they're more willing to help us and contribute those funds to them. So that's why I came up with this specific project, to get that ball rolling with them. And then next year, they will ask for something that's a little bit more money. And, you know, capture that a little each year.
They literally want us to bring them specific projects, otherwise they are not funding it. And I would recommend that the Ports and Harbors director bring this to the Clark or the city council, because there's a corporate relations committee meeting on January 30th. And these spendings and these projects have to go through that committee, so that on the 30th, city council or the city council members that are on that committee can present that to the borough.
So I'd like to make a motion.
Yeah.
So I move that we approve the attached letter with the edited for new chair of course. I don't know if you saw it, but asking the city council to
Yeah.
go after fish tax fund for harbor safety.
Second.
So moved.
Second.
We just ask her to call the roll.
Oh, yeah, can you call the roll?
Mr. Coffin,
Aye.
Mr. Lucy,
Yes.
Mr. Bethel,
Yes.
Mr. Longley,
Yes.
Mr. Rose,
Yes.
Ms. Faber,
Yes.
Mr. Karuj,
Yes.
Mr. Matani.
Yes.
Awesome. Moving on. 2026 cruise ship berth utilization.
Is that just entering the draft schedule into the record or?
Yeah, so that's what you're looking at is the 2026 draft cruise ship schedule. We wanted to make sure you folks had it. This has already been given to city council. They've gotten it as well. Basically, we're giving it to you if you see it, if you have any comments or concerns. And, just wanted to let you know that that's what the schedule looks like at the moment.
If you're starting late in April and not early, like last year.
So this is later?
Hmm?
Later than.
Starting
last
a little later.
About 10 to 15 days later.
year? Okay.
And ending earlier.
Yeah, I think Norwegian realized that the late ships or early ships are not doing much for them.
Tell that to work both.
Yeah, well, that's Binkley.
That's all there is on that.
Yes, sir.
Moving on to the Bird 3 tender float lease.
So I can speak to that a little bit. If you recall back in April, at a FAB meeting, we had during the persons to be heard portion of the agenda, there were concerns that were expressed regarding the Berth 1 inside float moorage area. A little background, we went back and looked at some things in regards to the concerns that were raised during the winter months. The use of Berth 1 inside float is acceptable to those persons wishing to moor their berths during the winter, provided they pay the open moorage rate and or reserve moorage rate, depending on the waitlist status. However, during the summer months, the use of Berth 1 and Berth 3 inside float is only to be utilized by those vessels that are engaged in tourism type activities while their cruise ships moored at the port. The area is designated as a tourism pickup and drop off point for those tourists that are going on tours or excursions. Now that rule is mandated and enforced by the Coast Guard's facility security plan for the Port of Ketchikan. But once the cruise ships have departed for the day, vessels are allowed to utilize this space once again for mooring as space is available. Any ship moored overnight is charged a mooring fee, and they must depart at least 1 hour prior to the next cruise ship arrival. The Berth 1 inside float is not intended for long-term and or unattended moorage. So further complaint was made regarding the allowance of the Aleutian Ballad to have a designated space for moorage on the Berth 3 inside float while commercial fishing vessels do not. So the bottom line, the Aleutian Ballad is engaged in tourism activities, so they're allowed to utilize this area like any other vessel engaged in tours or excursions during the day. Now, after doing some research, it was found that there is no set lease agreement in place nor memorandum of understanding, permit, or any city charter that makes an exception for this vessel to have specific designated moorage and electricity at a special rate, while no other tour charter is afforded this benefit. This was brought in front of the FAB board. We talked about this, and basically was said we can go ahead and take it to the council. The thought was to, in the spirit of fairness and transparency, to auction 150 feet of the Berth 3 inside moorage for the 2026 cruise ship season to the highest tour and excursion bidder or bidders that require designated moorage. If nobody bid on it, then the winning high bidder would be allowed the moorage. But if that wasn't done, it would just revert back to just the drop on pickup space that was there anyway. So during the last city council meeting, there were folks showed up to speak against this. So what they've asked us to do is to come back to the FAB once again and talk about it. So that's what we're doing, and I'm just giving you a little background on how we got here. And seeking further recommendations on, what does the FAB want to do? And I will say that I've actually gotten phone calls from other individuals interested in possibly doing a lease. Now, whether or not they'll bid on it or not, I don't know, but I have gotten phone calls on that. So so I'll turn that back over to the FAB board.
I guess my question is, so if we lease out 150 feet, does that mean that those individuals have exclusive rights even during the tour day?
No, They would just have exclusive rights at the end to park in a specific spot. They still have to follow all the same rules during the day. They don't get, they have to be actively engaged in tourism, and all the, all the above. They have to follow those same rules that they always had. The idea, because of the way that, they kind of got into the position of this is our spot kind of a thing. The idea was to make it above board, offer it to numerous people, and whoever got it, got it. Kind of that whole idea of capitalism, if
Yeah.
we're gonna really do it, let's be above board and we'll give everybody an opportunity. If nobody wanted that opportunity, then we would just carry on the same way that we always have. So that was the idea behind that, to make it very clear, very transparent.
Now, currently, if they happen to be out on, if they go out and do a charter after the last cruise ship leaves for the day, somebody else slides into that spot, they would just be allowed to stay there.
That is what is supposed to happen, yes.
Okay.
So if somebody's out on there, they're out on a tour, as long as they're, and that cruise ship is gone, and somebody else wanted to pull in there, they can pull in there at any of those spots. So that's really the way that's supposed to work. Nobody's supposed to have a set thing. Now, we have gotten actually in the past calls from the ballot said somebody's on our spot. And, you don't have a spot. There's nothing in, nothing in ordinance, nothing there that says this is your spot. So that's kind of the mindset, when we did the research, we had the meeting where people expressed concerns. That's where this kind of came down, is once we researched it, that this would be the clearest and cleanest way to say either, yes, you have an official spot, or no, you don't. And, it's neither here nor there for me. But we do need to set a standard one way or the other that, if we're not gonna have a set spot, nobody has a set spot. And, nobody can, take over a spot. It's supposed to be open moorage it's supposed to be first come, first serve. During the day as well, anybody that's drop it off and pick off that do that, if you're in that, wherever you tie up, you can tie up there until, you're loading and unloading and then take off. So that's the mindset there.
Is that open moorage at night
Yes,
for,
it could be, as long as the cruise ships are gone, it can be commercial vessels, it can be, charters, it could be whoever, that needs a spot, they can tie up there. However, you have to be out of there 1 hour before a cruise ship shows up. So if you have a cruise ship coming in at 6 a.m, you're gonna get woken up at 5 a.m, and say, you gotta go. So that's the caveat there. So, there's not supposed to be any long-term, unattended moorage there. It's just overnight. And then you have to leave if you've got a cruise ship coming into that particular area.
and that's a cruise ship at any berth?
I think that's at that area. Generally, you're not gonna have to leave if they're all the way down on 1 and you're still on 3. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So that is, the way that goes. But if somebody's coming to 3, they have to get off 1 hour prior to the vessel showing up.
Okay.
Because we have security crews that have to do their sweeps, they have to make sure that everything's cleared before a cruise ship comes in, so it gives everybody time to.
Cause I think a lot of larger vessels, will load berth 3 or berth 2 passengers from that area, because berth 2, there's no loading
No
zone.
area,
and then
yeah.
the other one's underneath lines and.
The question is, does the illusion ballot move away 1 hour before the cruise ships arrive?
That I don't know. That's a question for Craig more than.
No, they don't pass. So they're just like charter guys or sightseeing guys, have a vessel pass.
Yes, sir.
So currently, the rule reads that is a loading and unloading, designated unloading and loading. But can turn into an overnight moorage transient if, I was really confused. You kind of said it could be this, it could be that, but
After
what is
hours,
it right now and what is it legally supposed to be right now?
what do you mean right now?
Like the way our bylaws and our rules.
Yeah,
state.
what's supposed to happen is it's open for active tourism, those engaged in active tourism during the summer months. Only during the day with cruise ships, you have to be actively engaged in the tourism activity and have the proper passes. So then you can do that. So, you know, charters can pull in there and drop people off and on. You've got passenger charters that can do that as well. Now, once the cruise ship leaves for the day, overnight, that can revert to just open moorage.
It is open or it could.
It is after hours.
It's not the way it worked for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's not what you guys told us last time, but.
After hours.
Yeah.
Only.
after hours.
But you
No,
can't do any long-term hanging out there. You have, you know, just like I said, if you have somebody that has, you know, if you're parked there overnight, you have a cruise ship that's coming in, you have to leave 1 hour before that cruise ship arrives.
Yeah, that's not the way I experienced it. I had the daily flow, right? I slide over to the pilings on the inside of Earth One, and I couldn't come back to that float. That power was still in my name there. So it would have been nice after the cruise ship left to slide over, plug in for the night. and
It's
leave.
open moorage. It doesn't become your moorage.
That's not what I was told it was.
It's open moorage.
Well, I was told I couldn't go back up there because it was for, sea pilots or whatever. Came in there.
I can't speak to whatever there, but from what I understand, Craig, or, you know, please count, you know, stop me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm speaking correctly that that's how that works.
That is correct. The one
Okay.
thing you have to keep in mind is in our facility security plan, berth 1 and 2 are considered the same. So if there's a ship on 2, berth 1 daily float is shut down. If there's a- So.
Yeah, I was just told that I couldn't. I
So that
couldn't
must have
slide
been-
back over
They just said you cannot
because-
use it.
they-
A cruise ship.
You got Harbor.
Harbor.
uh,
I don't know whoever you guys, the Harbor Department. And it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
that
way
is
it worked
correct.
out is I wasn't allowed to slide back over in there because of the security or safety plan with the cruise ship and the Coast Guard.
Yep.
So I rode the pilings, looked at my old spot that I used to tie up to with my power unit over there. Had to run my generator and ride the pilings for 15 days or something until the season started, and then I could boogie out of town and go get it done.
Cause we were told Harbor, Ports and Harbor said you have to have some special tourism pass to be able to park there, if I remember right. And now that's what I remember them telling me about the Perseverance. I don't know if that's what they told you, but, and then now we're finding out that that's not the case. It's just open moorage after a ship's gone. Transient, open, whatever you.
I'm speaking to berth 3 right now, and yes, after the cruise ship's gone, you
Are
can
you
park
talking
there. It's
about
open moorage.
Berth 3 or daily float?
Both, either or, both. I mean, they should fall under the same port laws according to the port guy here. Right?
Depends on the security plan. Like you just said, berth 1 and 2, you can't be there if there's a cruise ship there.
Yeah,
but
That's
it's-
why you'd have to move over to the piles.
But
Except
that's
we
that's not
understand
the
that
way
is-
it worked.
but is
I
the-
moved and wasn't allowed to move back. And so that wasn't.
What is
how
it legally
played out.
stated that those turn into after the ships are gone? Or do the same thing? Are you guys just making up this up as you go? Or is there a document that says,
There's a doc.
the port says this, and then it turns to this, and then this, and then this?
It's exactly what the director just said.
Okay, well, that's not the way it's been acted.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to slip back over into my winter slip and plug into power because of, I was told it was because of the security with the cruise ship.
Well, if it's the summer, that winter slip is no longer valid.
I understand.
It's a whole different ball of
I
wax.
understand.
Okay.
It was just, you know,
Still like
the
March
cruise
or
ships
April.
are coming early this year. The cruise ships are leaving late. It was hard to, schedule everything in.
Okay. So anyway, we're bringing this back to the FAB, to discuss further, to get some further direction. I was asked by council to bring it back to the FAB, remind everybody why we did what we did and get everybody's take on it. And, you know, anybody, you know, you've got letters against it. This is the reason why we did it. And now we're back at the FAB talking about it again, and, you know, would like some direction to take back to council.
My question is revenue here. So you have a vessel, right? The Ballad.
Mhm.
And he's paying open mortgage.
He's paying open mortgage, correct?
Okay, so you're gonna put this out for bid. And let's say he wins the bid.
Yep.
So now that's his new rate? Or is
No.
he still paying?
He's
open
still gonna
mortgage?
pay the rate for his vessel. The idea would to do that was to pay the same rate for your vessel with a minimum starting bid of plus 5%. Cause then you're actually paying a little bit more. That's the starting bid. You're gonna actually pay more to get a reserved spot overnight.
So after the ship leaves, it turns into a reserve spot.
Correct. If they have a lease agreement. Right now, there is no lease agreement. If we don't want to do a lease agreement, that's fine, but it will end up being, nobody's got a special spot, nobody's got anything. And, you know, we're gonna hold everybody to that.
How long has it worked so far?
I'm sorry.
How long has it worked so far?
I
under
think,
the
I think a
current-
lot of it has been, you know, the idea that this is our spot and nobody realized that that was actually open mortgage. So it's worked for a while because everybody was under the assumption that that was their own special spot. And like, and you know, and like I said, in order to really be above board and transparent, you know, then you could go back and pass the red face test and say, why does this vessel have a special whatever? Well, because they actually have a lease agreement. They're paying more than the norm to make that happen. They don't have to bid on anything. It's totally what the market's gonna bear. That's the idea of capitalism. Is the market gonna bear it or not? So that was the mindset behind that.
Do we have the language of the ordinances written currently?
I do not have that here.
Okay. I think I looked up, but I don't remember it spelling out exactly how the rates were going to be.
Initially, when this was gonna go, let me see if I can find. I'm sorry, I don't have that actual ordinance, but I do know that it was gonna be the daily rate plus, the minimum bid was gonna be daily rate. At least this was my suggestion back to council was the daily rate plus 5% as the minimum starting, you know, bid.
Mhm.
And, electricity would be at the daily rate. So, and it would be for their mortgage. So whatever the normal mortgage was for whatever year, plus 5%, plus, electricity at the daily rate.
And that would be for,
Anybody that wanted to, you know, to get the reserve spot. The idea up to 150 feet was talking to the port, operations coordinator and say, how much can we actually give up? I didn't want to give an exact number because I know the ballot's 107. So the mindset was, well, let's just say we can go up to 150 feet. So, you know, if you had somebody that was 107 or 110, and you've got another 40-foot vessel that's doing it that wants that, you'd have enough room to do that after hours. Now, that was kind of the mindset, or if somebody didn't want to do that, it wouldn't be bid. And it would just revert back to, you know, drop off, pick off up only and open mortgage, you know, first come, first serve after hours.
Isn't that the fairest way?
I'm sorry?
I think that's the fairest way, instead of putting it out to bid and giving the Aleutian ballot a exclusive spot. If it operates the way it's supposed to and be an open mortgage for everybody, then that's fair for everybody to go in there.
Because if a local wants to bid on this and I've got a slip, say I'm using the Nordic Lady, which I never will, but as a charter boat, I've got a slip. Now you're gonna charge me daily mortgage? So you're penalizing me, but you're rewarding someone from down south that doesn't have a slip.
How am I don't understand how I'm penalizing you.
Well, because I'm already paying mortgage.
Okay.
And now you want me to pay daily mortgage plus 10% to use this place. When I've already got a slip in those.
That's only if you want reserve mortgage on Inside Berth 3 and you're actively engaged in, you know, tourism operations.
But you said after they leave, you don't have to be involved in tourism.
Correct. But you would still, you know, you're still taking up open mortgage space. So if you want that open mortgage space, you'd still pay just like anybody else.
But in the harbor right now, if I have a slip and I wanna go tie up an open mortgage, I don't pay extra for that. Absolutely not. I take my skiff all over, I tie my boat up all over. So, see what I'm saying? You're penalizing a local that has a slip, yes, you are. And it benefit to someone who's out of town. This is being set up again for someone who's out of town, gets the, oh, come on in and perfect.
I think if it operates the way it's supposed to, then it's fair for everybody.
Agreed.
And instead of giving someone the exclusivity of it, you know, it's open moorage and then it's an active loading and unloading zone and.
Cause what if Alan Marine wants to get it and put 5 boats there? Can they do 5
growth
350
happens,
footers?
someone else gets another boat and wants that same slip or. So that's fair for everybody to be able to use it.
They would still, you know, the idea behind this whole thing was just because there was the complaints that got brought up about why do they have their own special thing? To make it transparent and fair, that was the mindset behind going, okay, if we've got to do it, this is how we're gonna do it. I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I also know that, you know, in the idea of capitalism is how are we gonna bring in the most money to the city? That's an idea too.
Well, it's the
So-
fairest, the way it's written, if we enforced it the right way.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be fair for everybody.
You can make more money that way, cause
For
you get
everybody.
people there all the time.
This is, you know, it's really not up to me. It's up to council. It's not up to me to make that decision. That's why it goes in from the FAB and then it goes to council. And once again, it's coming back to FAB and we're talking about it. So that's good. It's a good, healthy conversation and that's why we're here.
Mike,
Well, I still really hate to do this, but
Go, Mike, go.
the council asked for you to hear us because their agendas are long and their nights are long. And so I think they wanted to take advantage of you guys to hear us out, so we didn't take so much of their time. So I hate to do this, and at the same time, I hate to not take advantage of this time and then leave this meeting disappointed because something happened, because somebody didn't say something. And then we're right back at the council taking a lot of their time again. I'm really getting tired of hearing about capitalism. And what it is, or what it isn't. This is a public facility. And what the ordinance contemplates is giving someone, some business, exclusive use of it. Because maybe it'll generate some more revenue for the city, but is that capitalism? Like, you could make that argument, you know, because it generates more money or something, but is it capitalism if it gives, you know, a big section of a public facility exclusively to a private entity? You could argue no. So I don't want capitalism injected into this. I'm as good a capitalist as the next guy, but first come, first serve is how we've operated. The lease gets away from first come, first serve. We've done well working around each other for 20 years. Yeah. First come, first serve. Now, this all started, I think, with a misperception about what I call him Crabber, Lucian Ballard. What Crabber, his guys have rented an apartment from his captains for many years, most of the time he's been here. So I know him well. But we're learning tonight that this kind of started with a misperception about what he had and what he didn't have. We're learning he never had exclusive use of that spot, and he doesn't now. He does have the right to be there during the day because he's actively loading and unloading. And he has the right to be there at night because everybody else does too. Everybody does. And the last thing I want to do is, so I'm just going to totally avoid any tourism versus commercial fishing guys, because I'm both. I've been both, big parts of my life. And, I have affinity for all boaters, let's say, all kinds, but, so we don't need to get into that. But I had a big concern about why put up 150 feet when he's only 107, and he's the one that's prompted all this crabber, the Aleutian Valley. That facility, especially that, whatever it is, 450 feet, is critical to those of us that have made an investment in picking up and dropping off these tourists. And without it, I couldn't have done my business and actually survived, because we're coming and going. And in the morning, yeah, we're sitting there waiting for people to get off, and we're there a while. Takes a while sometimes to get the gangways up and for people to actually get off for a lot of reasons. Ambulance, somebody's got to be taken off the ship in an ambulance, or customs has got to do a long check. So we're sitting there for a long time before anybody gets off in the morning. But once they start getting off, it's huckle-de-buck, and you're moving fast to make turns. The more turns you make, the more money you make. Every turn I make down there with my little tiny, silly little tour boat, 13 people, I figured it out a couple nights ago, with the port fee I pay, which is quite reasonable, and the sales tax, and the sales tax I pay on my fuel, which is quite a bit. The city takes, in the borough, combined sales tax receipts just for my little tiny operation per turn. It's about $107 per turn. And I try to do a couple turns a day. So every day the city and the borough make $214 off of me in these fees. So that Earth 3 tender float, daily float, a little bit there by Sockeye Sands and a little bit in front of Talbot, makes things possible for us who want to be in that line of work. But only if we can get in and out of there quick and there's space available. If there's much of a holdup, you can't do as many turns, nobody makes as much money. And so, to even consider taking, a good sized chunk of that and making it exclusive, creates the possibility that we get into this situation where you start with the first 150 feet, and then there's another 150 feet. Now you got two big boats in there in the morning and all night. And then it starts impacting a lot of us smaller independent operators, because we're not big enough to afford to put a competitive bid in for that much space. So now I fear I'm saying more than I need to say, but do you have any questions? I don't want to leave here with questions unanswered and then have to go to a council meeting. I want to see you say, now that everybody understands what the rules are, and during the day you got to be actively loading and unloading, and at night anybody can tie up there. And so let's leave well enough alone and just let it go. That's what I want to hear you do, and tell the council that clearly, so they don't even have to put it on their agenda again.
See, the rules enforced for everybody equally would be nice.
Yeah.
Cause I know I get run off the drive down ramp if I'm not working, you know what I mean? But it sure seems like that ballot sits there if they only have one turn a day and moors up and not actively loading or unloading.
I don't see that very often, if ever. I mean, he makes as many turns as the rest of them.
Early in the season,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when I seen it, cause I'm gone all summer, but early in the season, there wasn't two turns to do
Or any of it.
for any of us, so he's moored up
Right.
in an active loading and unloading zone, so the rules aren't being enforced
Correctly.
correctly. And so
After the cruise ship leaves, he can stay and more, but during the day when the
it
turns, he
sucks,
needs
he'd have to float, but I
move.
had to do it down on the pile.
I want to get in your way. That's,
I mean, it's just,
I don't know the answer to your question.
Yeah, Jay.
Really. It's not my place.
What I'm hearing now is that the public comment that we are getting and the consensus that we are getting that we need to leave this alone and not have a dedicated lease of 150 feet, as long as the rules are equally met and people are clear about open moorage after the tourists leave, after the cruise ships leave, as long as people maintain and nobody is specifically taking advantage of it.
I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do we need to say something like that for the count?
Yeah, I think if we direct the board director to bring that to council. And if it's an agenda item, I'll just make a motion to defer it indefinitely and that way it'll go away.
Second.
So we don't,
Oh.
go ahead,
Talk
Bill.
about
I-
it some
No,
more.
no, I just don't know if we need a
Yeah.
motion to
I thought he was
go,
making.
is that motion you made? You could make a motion,
Yeah, so you
Yeah, he
make a
did.
motion that we maintain that
status quo.
status quo with that bird free inside lease.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Take the. Do we need to vote on it or? No, okay.
I think we need. don't
We can
need
do
to
it,
vote?
yeah.
Show of hands. Opposed? All right, on to 2026 harbor rate increase.
The 2026 harbor rate increase, we can't talk about that tonight. That will actually be brought up. I'm just letting you know that's coming down. Finance looked at that, and they actually put together a recommendation that we bump our rates up. Like I said, it has to be posted for 14 days, and it's not been posted for 14 days yet. So I can't speak to that. I'll bring that up as an agenda item, as a business item next month. But I can at least say that that rate increase has been, recommendation has been posted. It's posted in the city. It's posted in the harbor master's office. It's posted on the harbor master website and on the city's Facebook page as well. So unfortunately, I can't speak to it until it's been posted for 14 days. We're not there yet.
Is this are they suggesting a rate increase? Because it was supposed to be, wasn't it for several years, it was supposed to automatically increase, so this is
Yeah.
an increase beyond what it.
No, it's the same increase. It's the same increase.
It's the same, yeah. and-
Because every year, because it was determined that they were going to increase rates every year. But every year it's got to come to council for it to pass.
I see, it wasn't, the ordinance wasn't written to have it increase for
Yeah,
the.
you
Yeah,
did
not-
I got
not
it.
automatic.
So that's the same.
Yeah, it's the
plan.
same, yeah. Yeah.
And I'm not speaking to it officially, but what I can say unofficially, and next week, or next month, it can be officially, is, as you all know, we are trying to get some stuff done on the harbor. We do not have a fund that we can do matching funds for state grants. And we need to try to build up our reserve so we can do that. So, keep that in mind. And, we'll speak to it officially next month.
Fair enough. Moving on to, board member Youngblood, have the request for absence. January and February.
We can make a motion to accept that.
Second.
Show of hands.
All right,
Right, on to the Port and Harbor Director's Report.
So you all have the director's report in front of you. I'll hit the highlights here real quick. The yacht club, we've been dealing with that for about a year now, and I can report that new lease permit has been signed. And that new lease, was drafted and is based on the Ketchikan Municipal Code and the Yacht Club, and we can consider this item closed now. Mountain Point Knutson Boat Launch, the city council gave permission to investigate the possibility of purchasing or acquiring the Mountain Point and Knutson Cove boat launches. The Alaska Mental Health Trust provided a purchase price for Mountain Point. That got brought up to city council during executive session, and the council did not want to pursue the purchase of this parcel, but did want to discuss possible MOU with the Alaska Mental Health Trust, so that's ongoing. We still have no word back from the Department of Natural Resources, State of Alaska for Knutson Cove upper parking area at this time. So as soon as I get some information, I'll bring it back to the FAB. That paperwork's in their court, and we're just waiting on some kind of a response back from them. Just wanted to talk real quick. Harbor Masters, they're busy with the winter season, continuing to make rounds of the harbors, monitoring vessel, putting new names. Name tags, plates are being installed as weather permits, and as you all know, weather has not been permitting very well here lately. Floating breakwater, continue to have meetings with the Army Corps of Engineers. We actually had a meeting today. Breakwater replacement still on schedule to commence next summer, or this summer actually. They're investigating the best placement and orientation for the smaller breakwater section, and they've started. The conversation today was talking about the concrete breakwater. They're starting that pour and doing that work. On the port, Berth 3 dolphin upgrades. Dolphin upgrade project was ongoing. On 17 December, they opened the bids. Currently, we're in negotiations between the apparent low bidder and the city. It's not looking real promising at the moment because their bid came in really, really high. We're still trying to get the bid down, but it doesn't look like it's going to get down to the level that we need it to get. But we're still working on that. So next meeting, I'll be able to give you a definite of what happened there. Port passes, port operations coordinator is looking into the possibility of a license plate reader of some type or an RFI device to help monitor. I believe we've settled on some kind of a camera reader to read the license plate coming on the port and off the port to get a better idea of who's on there and how long they're there. So that should help a little bit with port congestion. Berth 3 tender float lease, we talked about that today. Temporary port security workers, port operations coordinators currently interviewing summer workers, submitting documents for new hire and rehires for the 26 cruise ship season. That's going quite well. Maintenance folks, they've been winterizing the port and harbors as necessary, putting up security fencing around Berth 3 promenade, closing the restrooms, turning off water in areas that'll freeze. They've been preparing snow blowers, been snow blowing, plowing, and so on, as well as the harbor masters. They've been clearing snow, utilizing snow melt on the ramps during the cold snow and freezing weather. We haven't had a meeting in a while, but I just wanted to say the 25 cruise ship season has concluded, as we all know. I'd like to thank the port operations coordinator, assistant port operations coordinator, and the temporary safety and security personnel for a safe and successful 25 cruise ship season on the port. Ketchikan hosted 823 total passengers and a total of 609 cruise ship calls. So we were busy. And the Port and Harbor budget was approved. In addition, Port and Harbor requested capital improvement projects were approved, and we'll start compiling information and documents to initiate these projects. So we've got some approvals to start working on some of the port cathodic protection that we desperately need to take care of. So that's good news. And thanks to the council for doing that. And that is the Port and Harbor.
Thank you.
Lee, can I have one question?
Yes, sir.
Was there any discussion with the Corps what they're gonna do with the old breakwater?
I believe we're going to take a section of that. Is that right, James?
Small one, we're getting the entrance one, the small one, we're getting that one to move it to the south entrance. You know, the drive down.
Right.
But the long one is their,
Pardon?
the long one, they're disposing of it.
The Army Corps?
Yeah.
Yep.
So you want that, you talk to them?
But from my understanding, they've had dozens of people already inquiring.
Sure. Like,
Including municipalities.
Yeah, well, it shouldn't go to waste.
No, it won't.
Great. Future agenda items?
I'd like to,
Yeah.
I'd like a in-depth discussion about this raw fish tax. So you're telling me the borough gets it all,
That's
and we harbor all the vessels? All the commercial fishing vessels are,
It's split. City of Ketchikan gets some too, and that's further down the list. I didn't highlight it. City of Ketchikan gets some too.
okay,
And
We
we get
don't get all of it. Some
241,000.
of it goes to wastewater, I think, and some goes to water treatment, for the support of the plant.
yeah,
But the chunk that we got last year paid for the dredging in Bar Harbor North. Because, the original bid was 60,000 and it came back at almost 200,000. And the only way we got that done was from the raw fish tax money. That the city received.
so the borough gets, let's just say, 400,000. The city gets 250,000, so you're telling me the whole thing is, 650? Okay, yeah, I'd like to talk about it. I mean, this ain't right. We support all the commercial fishing vessels where the money comes from.
That's right.
All the plants are in the city, and they get most of the money. Anyway, that's my bitch. Yeah.
So what changed from here?
I
to
just-
here? I'd like to see a little.
Do you have any more items? That should be added. Board member comments?
Well, I would like to say thank you to the public that showed up and spoke and let us know how you feel, and those that wrote in and that weren't here. Cause we can't make decisions and don't want to make decisions without hearing from you. Cause if we don't, we can only go by what we know. So it's really important that you show up and you speak up. So thank you for being here, and excuse my late, I didn't have gas, I ran out of gas. So, but I made it. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I'd like to second Linda's comment that, much appreciated to see people out here looking at us, keeping us straight.
Looking at. Oh, what? No, I have no comments. Thank you, May, for everything.
Yeah, Linda, you said it all. Thank you all very much, and the staff. And board.
No comment.
Thanks to everyone for showing up on what a beautiful evening. we had. Right, but yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks as always, May. Congratulations, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone for showing up. This is the only way we can get things right for the community. If people don't show up and talk about it, it'll go like Linda said, what little we know. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, May, and congratulations to Lee for being the chairman.
Yeah, just like everybody else, thank you all for coming tonight. It's very helpful. Thank you, Wayne, for all the explanations. It's very enlightening. And thank you all for this, and I will get better at it. So, no more comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
Second.
Oh, motion to adjourn. Second.
Second.